Hey good people, it is Tashara from Politics and Fashion here today with the video that is all about my Morocco and Santa Fe, New Mexico haul. Now you all actually requested this at the end of, I think it was the Morocco vlog, and so I decided to actually put both of the trips together to show you all what I got. As a matter of fact, the trips were pretty much back to back. I went to Morocco in March, and then I took a week off and got right back on the road and was in Santa Fe for a week. And so I'm looking around now. I have a little bit of everything, some fashion, some jewelry, some home goods that I would love to share with you. If you love travel and style videos and you have made it to the right place, my friend, please do click that subscribe button down below so that you can be part of the tribe. But in the meantime, let's get into today's video. Before I get started, let me share with you all what I am wearing today because we went up for this denim set. You all, it is by Target, part of the Future Collective collaboration with Gabriella Carifa Johnson, who is a stylist. Shout out to Gabriella's auntie who was down in the comments in one of my previous videos. So thank you for creating a wonderful collection with Target that is affordable and accessible. I love the fact that this denim top can also be worn almost like a jacket. And of course it has the matching jeans that are kind of a relaxed fit. I will link both down below. Let's start with the souks in Morocco. Souk basically translates to a bazaar or marketplace, and it definitely is that. It is a huge area in Marrakech where you can find everything from rugs to paintings to tea sets to home goods, shoes, for example, leather goods. You can get lost, and it takes multiple trips to really be able to fully explore. Unfortunately, I didn't have as much time as I would have wanted to, but I had enough time to get the things that were on my list. And at the top of my list before I even got to Morocco, I knew was going to be rugs. Rugs, okay? What I find is that the souks definitely work by word of mouth. And so I went to one shop where I got a friend a painting. And while I was there, I said, hey, where can I find rugs? And he was like, what's a rug? And I said, you know, what's on the floor? I couldn't think of another way to describe it. And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I said, a carpet? He said, oh, carpets, I got you. He was kind enough to walk me over to his friend's shop, and that's where I had really the time of my life, going through a pile of rugs that were literally from the floor to the ceiling in all different kind of woven techniques, etc. Every single thing is made by hand, mostly by Berber families, but by other artisans as well. It can take one family months to make a rug. I mean, that is just how intricate these details are with the rugs. And so I didn't really know what I was looking for. I just knew Marrakech, Morocco, synonymous, I'm gonna come home with a rug. And it's the kind of thing that I knew I would have for a lifetime, so I was willing to really make the investment. So let me show you what I got. I got 4. It was unnecessary. In fact, I don't even have a place to put all of these. Buying them from my mansion. Manifestation, okay? The first one is a runner. So I will show you these both on the floor and close up. If anyone knows what this technique is called, please let us know down below. But this one is almost like a faded pink that has these small woven details throughout, as well as an outline that borders the entire rug. For some reason, while I was there, they kept trying to get me to go for something that was like in the red family that had all of these jewel tone colors. And I'm like, that's just not me. That's not what I want. And so when he pulled this pink one out and I saw that it was a runner, it was one of the only runners that he showed me, I was like, yep, I gotta have it. I have to have it. One of the parts of shopping in the souks that I love is that everyone wants to give you tea. They want you to have a seat. They slow down kind of the buying process, especially so you can negotiate. So you take your time. So I was probably there for about an hour, and I remember asking, what's the price? And they don't tell you the price because they want you to fall in love with it first. But also it's part of just kind of, I think, the culture for it not to be about how much it costs until it's time to have that conversation and to have that exchange. You know, it's almost impolite to go straight to how much something costs. And so I played along, decided to try something new, and I'm happy I did because we did end up, I think, at a great place of negotiation. And I'll tell you the price in just a minute. Next is a rug that's probably around a 4x6. And that orange, okay? Also a bit of a more kind of faded technique that has the different woven, oh, this is so good, colors throughout. And it has, as you can see, a border that outlines it. I don't talk a lot about home decor on my channel. Let me know if you want me to change that. I'm hesitant to give a home tour. I don't plan to do that, but I can show you different parts of my home for sure because home goods, home interiors, that is my second love outside of fashion. In fact, I think they go hand in hand. And so some people might be like, well, girl, why are you so excited about rugs? But trust me, it's a thing. My other two rugs, I am not going to move, so I will insert footage here because one of them is humongous. This is the biggest rug I got. It's about an 8x10, maybe a little larger. I knew that for my living room, I wanted something that read more neutral, but that had design to it. And so this one is black and white. The black is the hue that definitely kind of pulls out the most. But I love the design and the fact that it has these little tassels, not just on the end, but also along the middle. It's kind of like this rope that goes through the middle of it that I think just brings it texture. It makes it really interesting to look at. And then I had this idea while I was there that I wanted to layer the rugs. And so I went back and forth about, did I want a pop of color? Did I want to go for a neutral? And I decided to put this white and black rug on top. So almost a reverse of the colorway because the larger rug has more black. This one, as you can see, the base is white or like a pretty cream, and then it has these circles throughout. So a bit more muted than the other rugs that I have, and I feel like having a rug on top of a rug is just a great way to kind of bring a little bit more flavor and flair into your living room area, at least in my opinion. And so I love those two a lot. I don't know if I'll keep that white rug there forever. It probably will get moved around to different areas of the house. I am notorious for like redecorating every 6 months or so. So stay tuned for where it finally ends up. But for now, I am loving it. And the total price for these 4 rugs was a little less than $1,000. I feel like I did a good job negotiating, y'all, because it started off at, I think, around $1,800. If we were to add every single rug up individually, it probably was actually more than that, but I wasn't even trying to hear it. I was like, I'm not paying that much for those rugs. Don't even try it. I was like, no. Let's start all over again. Give me something that is reasonable. And so, as you know, rugs can be very, very, very expensive. Go to West Elm, Lulu in Georgia, Our House, any of these places, and one rug at the size of the rug that I have in the living room, the large 8x10, is more than $1,000. So to get 4 at that price, that is handmade in Marrakech, I think I did pretty good. Now, since we are talking about the souks, you cannot go to Marrakech and not get you a pair of hand-woven or handmade shoes. And that's what I did with these. Let's put them in the right order. And I am obsessed, girl. First of all, yellow. This mustard yellow has always been one of my favorite colors. The fact that it has like this raffia weaving here, and it also is a bit around the sole of the shoe. The sole is 100% leather, and these shoes are completely handmade. Once again, handmade. Simon fell in love. I actually was at the stall looking for a pair of shoes for another friend, and when I saw these, I said, you know what, let me have these too. And so I think these were like 30 bucks, maybe a little less. I cannot wait to wear these this summer. Okay, so the last 2 pieces have a little bit of a story. that I would try to tell as succinctly as possible, all right? So if you saw the vlog, then you know that the first day I was in Marrakech, or the second day maybe, I found a jewelry shop that I fell in love with. And on the day that I knew I was going to do some shopping, I said, let me go to that jewelry shop first, because if I blow a bag, I want to do it, have it in mind, or leave, come back, whatever. Just if I'm going to blow a bag, I need to have that in mind first before I do any other shopping, okay? So, go in the shop, met some really nice people, chatted it up, had some tea, part of the ritual, right? And everything was lovely. Ended up with 2 rings. Now, in hindsight, I think that I just kind of was enamored with the entire atmosphere, loved the designs, because there was no reason for me to have gotten 2 rings, okay? That was a lot. But you know, when you're in a different country, you're like, let me just go balls to the wall. When am I coming back to Marrakech? Had a conversation about the jewelry. I say, tell me the materials. I'm told that it's 14 karat gold as well as silver. Okay, bet. Negotiate, 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 negotiate some more. We get the 2 rings down to $1,000. It's a lot of money, but it's jewelry. Y'all know I love jewelry. And honestly, for 2 rings, it's not a bad price. So I get both of the rings. One of them gets resized while I'm there. I come back later in the day, resizes it. And I get home, and within maybe a week, I'm going back and forth. I'm wearing one day, one the other day. Both of them start to turn. Both. So I've already tagged this business over on IG. They've responded immediately. So I know they're online. DM them. Yo, like, I ask. Yo, I ask. Yo! What's the materials? Because this shouldn't be turning. So initially, I'm told it's 14 karat gold. I have no idea why it's turning. I send lots of pictures, and then it becomes, oh, it's actually gold plated. You don't say. Clearly, it's gold plated. Then they say, okay, we're sorry about the miscommunication. We are going to send you a real gold ring. Because at first it was just one, I thought. In replacement of the one that you have, the owner says, I'm going to send you some links so that you know what I have, or some pictures, and then we'll do the exchange. No problem. That was 3 weeks ago. I said, all right. I got your name and I got your number. So we are currently in a bit of a dispute with the kind people down at the credit card company where I have filed a claim. So all that to say, all right, make sure that you feel 100% certain that you were getting authentic goods. For me, this does not in any way like mar or tarnish my interpretation or my memory of Marrakech. I think everyone was so kind. Most people were extremely straightforward during the negotiation process, during the sales process. I have no complaints. I think that there was likely a salesperson that got a little bit too eager, saw an American with money and thought, oh, yeah, it's 14 karat gold, and did not feel like he had to make the distinction that 14 karat gold solid and plated are 2 different things. And also, let's just be honest. I mean, sometimes costume jewelry can be very expensive. So it's not the end of the world to pay $500 for, let's say both of them were the same price. It's not the end of the world to pay that much money for a piece of costume jewelry. I mean, the girls are paying $1,000 for those Bottega earrings. Let's just be honest, okay? There are a pair of earrings that I love at Saint Laurent that are $1,000, and they are not real gold. So that happens every single day. So that is not my issue. My issue is when I'm told one thing and the other is true, we have a problem. Because there's no way I would have come home and put these rings underwater had I known that. That's just a basic tenet that you do not put costume jewelry underwater. Nevertheless, I still love the rings. You all tell me if there is a way, because one of them is very apparent. But you all tell me if there is a way to kind of re-gold plate jewelry, because I would love to have that done and possibly have it done in gold vermeil, which from my understanding is much thicker, because again, I mean, this tarnished or this changed color almost immediately. So here are the rings. You all probably have seen this somewhere on the internet. Now, the gemstones are real, okay? We have citrine and aquamarine, which I absolutely love. I have very, very long fingers, y'all. I'm almost 6 feet tall. So to have something that fits longer like this on my finger, I think just looks so nice. Look at that. The face card never declines, my God. So, you know, if I was at a ball and I needed to hit you with that, this is the ring. This is the ring I would wear. Try to win my category, okay? Shout out to all the people that know about ballroom culture. And this is the one that actually the salesperson talked me into. I'll admit it. The one that really had my heart that I think I'd seen in the window is this one. I'll put this one on my middle finger because it's a little larger. It's this one. Let me get it to focus. And what I love also is that it has this kind of ridging on the side, y'all. And this one has less gold. The gold just outlines the gemstone. And the gemstone is held in place by 4 prongs, and that's what has faded on this one. But I feel a lot more comfortable wearing this one because it definitely isn't as visible. And I just love the look of this one as well, even though it is not as long. I think it just has a vibe to it. Now, I probably could wear it on my right finger, but it kind of is a little large. You see how it just turned? So I like it a lot more on the middle finger. Both of them are a vibe. They really are. I mean, I feel like I did a really good job of selecting pieces. It's just, I was bamboozled, and that is what it is. Things happen. Again, we do not hold that against the kind people of Marrakech, Morocco. So I had a few shopping tips that I definitely wanted to share with you all that I think would be helpful. By the way, all of these pieces have already been shown in the private Politics and Fashion Tribe. So if you were just now seeing them, sis, you late. We had a whole conversation. I shared the tips. It was a good kiki over there last month for our monthly live. And so I will link the private community down below because they have first access to much of my content, including exclusive content that is only in the tribe. But my first tip is to make sure you have cash. Make sure you have cash, cash, cash. Marrakech is definitely a city that is ran by cash. And the price exchange is about 1,000 Moroccan dirhams to $1 US. Now, we were in the Medina, which means inside the walled city or the old city. And so I definitely felt like even though there was this like, you know, extremely high exchange rate, that things were not a whole lot cheaper than they would be in the US because they were tourist prices for sure. So keep that in mind. Most restaurants are going, if they're a sit-down restaurant, are going to accept credit cards, but it is always going to be MasterCard and Visa mostly. Discover is accepted a little bit more. American Express, you're not going to be able to use that at all, girl. So just leave that at home, okay? And the other tip I would say is be ready and willing to negotiate. No one is giving you the actual final price. And once again, it is part of the culture to go back and forth. And so try your best, even if you don't feel 100% comfortable. Or maybe this is where you get a tour guide to take you through the souks so that you can have kind of that banter and that exchange. And then as I mentioned as well, the process is really slow to buy things, especially if you're buying multiple things. And so if you do not have the time to actually kind of sit down, have an exchange pleasantries, then maybe you kind of delay your trip to the souks because you are not going to Target and gonna walk in and walk out, especially if you build up a rapport with folks and you want to be able to have tea and just really to enjoy and immerse yourself in the culture. The last thing I'll say is that if you're in the souks, please make sure that you greet people before asking them questions. I got a little turned around. Actually, I have two things to say about this. I got a little turned around and I walked up to somebody and I just said like the name of the main road. And he was like, well, first you greet me and then you ask your question. And I was like, you right, my G. I know better than this. I know better. I'm so sorry. That is that kind of like Western American coming out of me. So again, slow down. Slow it all the way down. Don't bring those Western sensibilities to Northern Africa. That made me think of the fact that the souks are a maze. And the first time I did a really good job, right? I created a starting point and just walked straight from that starting point. Got to where I wanted to go and walked back, right? When I walked back, it was to pick up my ring and it wasn't ready yet. What I messed up at is that when I turned around, I kind of just was going this way and that way, zigzagging through, which was completely unnecessary, y'all, because I could have just stayed in the area that I was at to grab a bite to eat and wait for my ring. So create a starting point and then go in a straight line if you are directionally challenged like me, and then find your way back. A lot of the stalls have similar items, and so you're not gonna miss anything, but if you just wanna make sure you're not walking around like this, that is a pro tip. Now, before I leave the whole Morocco trip, I did want to go back to the rings. And before someone says, well, the size of the rings, the weight of the rings, how substantial the rings are, girl, you should have known they were not real gold. Let me just say that the entire ring is not gold. Clearly, I would have known that it was plated for that price. It is a small amount of gold on each ring. And so that is why when I'm told that it's 14 karat gold, I believed the sales associate, okay? So keep that in mind before you drop down in the comments. Things happen and we are moving forward. Hi, good people. As you can see, it is a new dawn, it is a new day, and I am not feeling good, unlike Nina Simone. Girl, I was editing when I realized that I completely deleted the entire part of the video where I'm talking about what I got from Santa Fe. So know that I love you. Know that we down like 2 flat tires, girl, because I literally was about to just scrap this entire video. If you saw my vlog where I talk about like content creation tips and what my day is like creating content, then you know the labor that goes into things. So my apologies for the lack of continuity, but things happen, and let's get into this Santa Fe part of the haul. So let me share with you the first thing I got. I do not remember the name of the store. I will do some thinking and some digging, y'all, and link at least the name of the boutique down below. I doubt a lot of these items are going to be available because they are from small shops, vintage stores. But if you are going to Santa Fe, I definitely want to put you on to places to visit, because Santa Fe is, of course, known for its jewelry, silver at that. And I got this pair of silver earrings. They are studs, about a quarter size, 100% sterling silver. And y'all, I used to be a silver lover. That was my thing, definitely kind of going into my early college years. Even I think when I was in law school after I graduated from college and had been teaching for a few years, I would wear silver day to day. And now I'm gold ministry head to toe. But when I saw these and the fact that I was in Santa Fe, I already knew that I had to do silver. And I think these are the perfect size. I love the detail that's on them. And I actually, y'all, when I wore these when I was in Santa Fe, I mix the metal. I don't have a problem whatsoever of wearing silver with gold, and I'll get to another item in just a minute to really highlight that point. For me, it's just about adorning myself. I love jewelry so much until the metals, girl, are immaterial. But this is the first thing that I got when I was in Santa Fe. I think these were like $150 or so. Not a bad price for sterling silver. I think they are also handmade. Either way, I'll have these forever. Now, I highly recommend you all take a look at my blog post, which will be linked down below, that has a full guide to Santa Fe, including the cutest Airbnb that we stayed at and where we went, where we ate, all the things, girl. The shop that I probably loved the most was a place called Santa Fe Vintage. From my understanding, it is owned by a stylist. She styles like huge Hollywood movies, actually. Santa Fe Vintage, it's almost like her reservoir. It's where she goes to pull pieces for her styling, but also she opens the shop to the public by appointment only. And so it's a warehouse, and it's separated by rooms, and each room has a different theme. So there's just one room with vintage Levi's or vintage jeans. There's one room that has all leather. There's one room with dresses, for example. A vintage lover's dream, okay? But actually, the thing that I got that I was not anticipating was this vintage cowboy hat. Now, it is by a brand called Satin Spurs, made in Inglewood, Colorado. It has everything from the size of the headband. For me, it's 7 1/8 or a size 78, 57. I don't know where I got 78 from. This says made in Canada, genuine leather. So, I mean, this is super high quality, y'all. Uh-oh, it's backwards. Let me try it on for you. I am typically a fedora girl, but there's something about a good old Western hat that I just feel like can't be replicated, okay? I needed this in my life, and I actually wore it to dinner on my birthday with a jumpsuit, and I feel like it was a beautiful high-low moment. It was the idea that, you know, I just wanted to be quirky and have some fun with my style because the jumpsuit did have a very elevated approach, and this is the kind of hat I think can definitely just bring a certain flair to the look. And so I think I paid probably about $65 for this, which was a great price, and I'm still shocked that it actually fits so well. And then on the side here, it has a silver buckle. The other thing I got from Santa Fe Vintage is this amazing blazer. So it is like a linen blend. Let me get the camera to focus. It is 100% lined on the inside. Here's the thing that just, girl, knocked me over with a feather. This little point, wait, can you see it? Right here. And how it has this dip on the side. It'd be the little things for me, okay? We have these faux suede, so like microfiber appliques. And then get into these silver buttons that almost, y'all, look like jewelry in and of themselves. Let me get the camera to focus. There we go. They don't make them like this anymore, dare I say. The brand is called Longhorn by River Western Wear, if you wanted to look something like this up. It has slight shoulder pads. I am a blazer girl, and so this is definitely going to be worn this spring. I'm going to bring the Western flair down. I would not wear the hat with the blazer. You could if you wanted to, but not quite my style. And I can't wait to find fun ways to style this. If you saw my Santa Fe vlog, then you know that we made our way to Taos, up what is called the High Road. So actually through the mountains, we went from Santa Fe to Taos. Taos is where the Taos Pueblo live, indigenous people. And before we got there, we stopped in a small area called Chamayo. And Chamayo has a place called Ortega's Weaving that has been there for 8 generations. Yes, 8. Enough talking. Get into this beautiful mustard piece. This is actually the men's version, so it's a little longer. The women's ones I felt like were kind of cropped, and at my height and my torso length, it didn't look great on me. They do not sell online, unfortunately, but you can always call. This is a size 36. It says it's 100% all wool, hand woven in Chamayo, New Mexico. Now, let me just say that the owner was there when I was there. We were the first ones there. We were so pressed. And the owner said that it takes 4 people to make one vest. I mean, we literally saw the loom. I think it's called the loom. All the different machinery that they use to actually make the pieces. And the fact that this is handmade, I mean, the price, I think it was $200, is amazing. For me, this is a piece of art. I simply wore it in Santa Fe with a Ula Johnson turtleneck that has a pattern, almost kind of like a leopard pattern, actually. So I pattern mixed it with the vest. I think I'm actually going to wear this week to a meeting that I have with a black turtleneck underneath. It's a bit cool here in the DC Metro, and a pair of black trousers. Either way, this feels to me like a once in a lifetime piece, and I'm so happy I got it. Classic, classic New Mexico for sure. And the last thing I got, it's a bit of a story. You guys remember that I said in a luxury wish list video probably about 2 years ago, maybe longer now, that I was looking for a timepiece. And I talked about this timepiece. I was like, do I want a Rolex? Do I want a Cartier? What do I want? Things have definitely changed since that time. Number one, the accessibility of Rolexes on the pre-loved market has just been very difficult to get, so the prices skyrocketed. And the specific Cartier watch that I want, I have not been able to find. So I walk into a vintage store in Santa Fe. It's called Double Take, if I'm not mistaken, and they have everything from home goods to jewelry to women's accessories and clothing. The first thing I see is a vintage Gucci watch, and I thought about that thing, and I thought about that thing. Left, went, did our thing, came back a couple of days later, and I was like, okay, let's talk about this watch in sincerity. And so I decided to pick it up, and it is my vintage Gucci watch. This is upside down, so I'll pop in some footage, girl. It is the 9000 collection. If you were looking for this, I've seen them on eBay. I've seen them on Poshmark. I've seen them on watch dealers' websites, because I did want to do a little bit of recon before I purchased it to know the price. I'll do another close-up. Again, know that it's upside down. It definitely gives Rolex vibes with the what Rolex calls the Jubilee band, the Rolex date just. I love the small GGs around the face, the fact that it does have the date on the watch. Also, you have the GG on the clasp here. I have shared with you all before that I am patently against watches from design houses. So like getting a Chanel watch, getting a Gucci watch, getting an Hermes watch. I feel like you're better off spending your money going to a classic watch maker. But this was different for me because it is a vintage piece, and it was much, much less than it would have been brand new from any of the design houses that I just mentioned. The fact that it is vintage, I feel like gives it a very like quintessential and classic flair. I am just obsessed with it. I really, really do love the fact that it has the silver and it has the gold. I think for me, for a watch, yes, I would love a solid gold one. I will get one someday, I'm sure. But it also makes my timepiece stand out among my arm party. I just have it on today with my Cartier Just Unclue, as well as 2 of my Freemaiden skinny bangles. Freemaiden is a black-owned brand that I love. What I did when I got home, y'all, is I had to get a battery put in it, as well as 2 extra links. It may have been actually 3, because I think I went back and it was still a bit tight. But look at how you cannot tell. I have no idea how they were able to make these links an exact match, but I am floored. Highly recommend the service. I got it from iFix Watch Repair Shop at Pentagon City. So all in all, with the servicing of the watch, which included the new battery and the links, I think I probably paid about $400 for this. And you all already know how much a watch from even pre-loved from a Cartier or a Rolex would have been. So this, for now, this is my birthday gift to myself, is definitely scratching that watch itch. In fact, I love this so much until this may be it, y'all. It may be the thing. I don't even know if I'm going to need to get another one, but we will see. And that is it, good people. Again, apologies for the disjointedness of this video, but I could not let this go live without including these Santa Fe pieces. I hope you have loved this video. You are going to see, if you have not already, these pieces everywhere. Upon everywhere. All right. And so I definitely wanted to make a dedicated space to just give them their shine, especially because they are memories from my travels. If you love style and travel videos, girl, then you might as well join the tribe. Go ahead and click that subscribe button, and also make sure you are following me along all the places, including social media. In the meantime, I will see you good people across the internet. Peace.